Oh, the rugby, 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 rugby. This is rugby. Ah, rugby. Oh, rugby, rugby. Oh, rugby. Oh, rugby, rugby, rugby. 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 Oh, rugby, 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 rugby. 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 Oh God. Rugby. Okay, this was rugby. Okay. Oh my God. You know, the back, the hair at the back of my neck was standing up when rugby, the greatest captain of all time, Harry Wilson, decided to go for the line out instead of taking the draw. No need to kick penalties. No need to kick penalties. Just rugby. Okay? You play rugby, you win, and boy, you know, at half time, the scoreboard was 7 points to the Wallabies, 21 points to Argentina. And if you ask me if I was worried, honestly, I thought there's no way we're gonna lose. Just the fact that we were not taking penalties. I felt a shift in the mentality of the team, and I had the confidence in the team to have the guts and the mental fortitude to push through for a win for the team. And you know, and another thing was that even if the team lost, right, for not taking penalties, I will still be proud of the players, proud of the captain for making the decision at home in front of the fans who pay their hard-earned money to give them what they pay to see, not just doing some number crunching. Oh my God, it's good enough to look good in the scoreboard, to deliver for the fans in front of the home crowd. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the hallmark of a good team. It's a team that I'm very, very proud of right now. And it took so long, so many years for these players to get to this point. And, you know, it's I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. You know, it's one of the things where the Wallabies could have taken the 3 points way earlier and taken an early lead. But they didn't. They backed themselves to go for the lineouts. And I was thinking, oh my God, imagine the commentary. Oh, I should have taken the 3 points when there was 5 minutes left on the clock. At least he could have walked away with a draw. Nope. They knew what they wanted to do. They identified the Argentinians were under pressure and ill-disciplined, being offside. And they pressed. Not just that they, you know, it's also just, it's not just, you know, like I said, this Wallabies team, it's not just the development of mental toughness, but rugby IQ. The rugby IQ has really just gone up another level. They've identified an issue in the Argentinian side, and they exploited. They knew they're going to get a penalty advantage. They knew the Argentinians weren't, like, the referee was very strict. Paul Williams was very strict on those offsides. Argentinians literally hand on the ground in front of the goal line, offside. You have to be, all of your body parts need to be behind the goal line, on or behind the goal line. You can't put your hands down, and that was the mistake. A lot of the Argentinian players were too eager and got their hands on the ground, and then offside as a result. And yeah, 28 points to 24. This was just, this was just rugby. Rugby. And, you know, Angus Bell, the guy that scores the try as well, just a little bit cherry on top. And then, you know, I really noticed, you really notice that the team has done a lot of homework behind the scene as well. Swat Lee, I've criticized him in the Lions tour, in fact, for not able to identify where he should be as a defender. And he can see that he's sweeping across this game, finding where he needs to be, you know, covering the open spaces where a forward is you know what, you know, he spots the forwards in open space and covers that and tell the forwards to bunch in. And as you can see that he's doing these sweeping and crop movements as well. Just something that's what's his biggest weakness, transitioning from rugby league. He's not able to identify, it's trying to figure out the defense pattern. He did really well there. And also you can tell that maybe the Wallabies are transitioning him to potentially be that fullback that everybody wanted him to go. I think it's great. I think it's great at center, to be honest. The ability for him to just take on the ball and then with that, that size and speed to immediately get over the advantage and still get hands free to offload. I think that's actually better than being a fullback. Obviously the kicking game is something that we haven't seen him at all. He tried a bit of a kicking in the Waratahs, was at a fullback was pretty iffy. So I think don't break it. Just let him play the center. He's figuring it out, and I can tell there's a lot of work done behind the scenes, helping him out, getting that done, and he looked a lot better. There was no you can tell he's swooping across, moving around, identifying the space in both the attack and defense as well. Scoring 2 tries this game. He went from not able to score any tries for, not even for a very long time, for almost a year now at this point, to scoring 3 tries in 5 games. Really starting to show that his understanding of the game as well in terms of where he needs to be, identifying the situation in front of him. Obviously the game's more dynamic than the rugby league. Everything is changing all the time. Identifying the opportunities in front of him and, getting himself through. One of the tries especially, he had an opportunity to offload, but he did a dummy, shrugged off the defender, identifying that the defender has overshot himself and then getting himself through for the try. Just stuff like that really shows that the team has done a tremendous amount of work behind the scenes to get to where they are. Fraser McGrath, another guy who did outstanding this week. Turnover after turnovers, and just really able to get themselves back into the game. There was a lot of silly penalties early on. Tupou was penalized multiple times for not wrapping. I thought it was really tough. The Argentinians did literally the exact same move on Tupou and they didn't call it. But in regard, doesn't really matter. It is rugby, right? You can't complain about these little things. You just gotta, and this is why I really love this team, because it's not about crying over spoiled milk. It's oh god, you lost the game because silly penalties were given out. That was 50-50 calls. Could have gone either way. It's about taking the game on your own hands and delivering the results. And I think that the game plan is clear and sound, that the Wallabies want to find a chink in your armor and then exploit it and try to put pressure and score a try. And they did that. And they yielded a result at the end. Okay, if the Wallabies start kicking penalty goals, then you're gonna end up in a situation where maybe it's up to the referee to decide winning or not, right? That is one of the things that I really don't like. Teams coming out just immediately taking penalties. Yes, you look good on the scoreboard. Oh my god, you're taking a lead, but you've got those penalties as a result of silly mistakes at the mercy of the referee, essentially. If the opposition, literally, was sort of Tupou thing, right? The referee could have decided to give you a penalty when Tupou did a no arms, and then not give a penalty when Argentina did the same thing. It's completely not up to you to win the game. And as a team, you need to take agency into your own hands when it comes to winning and losing. You can't say, oh my god, we lost the team because the referee did not call that Tupou, tackle, that Tupou on a tackle on Tupou, not a penalty, right? You can't come out of the game and look at those decisions and say that's the reason we lost. You need to have agency in the game, and I think the way the Wallabies making the decision is the right way to go. And I truly hope that they can carry on this decision at Eden Park for the Bulletin Cup in a couple of weeks' time. So yeah, really impressive overall. The Argentinians as well, 2 tries from the set piece, in the scrums set piece, immediately just good hands and finding just a few crossover, the switches and little backdoor plays, and immediately finding some space in the Wallabies defense. Something that I think Joe Smith had a look at for that. But to high efficiency, scored 2 tries back to back based on that in the first half as well. The kicking game overall was very. The Wallabies has shown the same style as the Springboks. A lot of kicks from the 22, kind of like a V-shaped kick from the 22 to the halfway. Instead of one of those box kicks, they do this sort of up and unders from the 22 to the halfway, which I think is a bit different from what normally teams do with the box kicks, and it has yielded really good results. It gives more hang time for for the F-47 players like Max Jorgensen to get there and try to disrupt the catch, and which has yielded really good results there for the Wallabies as well. And also just the long kicks, try to park the ball into your own goal and force for a goal and drop out for a reset. I saw they've done that again and again this game for the Wallabies, which is really, really good overall. The Argentinian kicking style is a much more traditional box kick style, but I think that the Wallabies kicking game is definitely a little bit of a unique style right now. And it's something that I think some of the opposition has a bit of an advantage for the Wallabies, because some of the oppositions are not quite figuring this out just yet. Overall, the scrummaging was a bit of a 50-50. I thought Paul Williams a little bit too reluctant to call the engage. I mean, just call it, crouch, bind, set, right? And then he's just like crouch, bind, and then he's just taking a pause. It's like a tiny, I know the law says the scrum needs to be steady before the referee calls for the engagement, but like this, it's you have like, literally a ton of weight on these players. There's a little bit of wiggling. There's always going to be a little bit of wiggling. Just call the set, and it's and then Paul Williams just sitting there, waiting for the scrum to be completely steady and still before he calls engagement. I thought he just needed to get it on. And if after the engagement any team pushes forward, it's a penalty anyway, right? So if the scrum is not steady after you call the engagement, you then make a decision there instead of calling up the scrum before the engagement. Oh, sorry guys. Reset. The scrum hasn't even engaged. It's already resetting, right? So I think that they need to probably have a look at that. I think the referee needs to manage that a little bit better. And also, the fact that your engagement call is inconsistent makes it really hard for the players to figure out when you're going to call engage, right? It's like, is he going to call engage now? Or is he going to call engage in like 3-second time? So having a consistent engage and then make a decision after engagement, if it's not steady, if someone's pushing, I think it's a better way to go than just immediately say, you guys, we're not engaging because there's a little bit of wiggling going on in the scrummaging. I think that is just, that's not the right way to call those things from the referee point of view. But yeah, outside of that, this was, again, Wallabies still has a lot of work to do, to be honest. Lots of silly mistakes in the first half, in addition to the line out, to the set piece defense there. The Argentinians did really well to defend the maul, so the Wallabies definitely improve on that as well. Argentinian goal kickers were outstanding. I think there was one missed goal because of the timer. I think there might not be a shot clock at the stadium, so the referee was like rushing the kick because there was no timer. So that was the only one that Argentina missed. But yeah, really, really outstanding game of rugby, and boy, I am over the moon. I felt like I've just drank 200 shots of coffee. But hey, let's have a look at the match stats of the game. So yeah, 4 tries to 2, 381 run meters for both teams, 144 carries to the Argentinians, 101. So the post carry meters was one of the big things that the Wallabies did as well this game. There was just post contact meters. Just really high. The Argentinian defense was not able to cope with some of the angles that the Wallabies are running, and just some of the short passes, the big forwards, just good body position, and everybody knew what they wanted to do: get low and try to pump the legs through a few steps, and then get on the ground before you get turned over. 26 defenders beaten for the Wallabies, 16 for the Argentinians, 13 turnovers conceded for the Wallabies to the 14 for the Argentinians. 110 tackles made, 16 missed tackles. 195 tackles for the Argentinians, 26 missed tackles. So not too bad overall. Maybe a little bit on the high end for the Argentinian side, but overall, this is actually, considering how many tackles this made, this is not too bad overall for the Argentinian side. It took the Wallabies very, very, 4 minutes extra time to finally get that final try on the board. 27 kicks in play for the Wallabies for 826 kick meters. 20 kicks for the Argentinians, 635 kick meters. So, like I said, the Wallabies kicking game is a little bit of a new style that we're seeing here. It's a little bit, it's transitioning away from that just, box kick out of the 22 style. They pass the ball to the 10, and then the 10 does the kicking midfield to decide where they wants to go. Just a bit more option, a bit more dynamic in that decision making there as well. So really, really good to see. One missed conversion, like I said, from Argentina because referee rushed Carreras. And let's have a look at the line out. There was one line out loss for the Wallabies, no loss for Argentina. I thought some of the lineouts were not straight for the Wallabies, and the referee did not call, even though the Argentinians look like they jumped. So let me know if you felt the same. It's a bit hard to see because it was like a sunbeam on the far side of the field. It's a bit hard to see if that was straight or not. The referee did not call. There was one scrum loss for Argentinians. I thought it was overall the referee was fairly tight on the it was a little bit too strict on pre-engagement at the scrummaging. Overall 10 penalties considered for the Wallabies. It was like 4 or 5 right away, and pretty much all against Tupou. And then Argentina 9 penalties. 9 penalties recorded means like, but there was way more than 9. There was offside after offside. There was multiple penalties, accumulated in one phase. So the actual penalty count would have been like probably, maybe close to 20 for the Argentinians. Resulted in 1 yellow card for on Carreras. Mateo Carreras for repeated offside from his own team. He copped a team penalty there. So yeah, let's have a quick look at the points summary. So yeah, 4 minutes into the game, Tupou got pinned for no arm tackle. This one was actually really tough because he looked like the Argentinian player ducked and dodged, he kind of ducked and slipped instead of Tupou actually. Tupou basically went for the leg and he missed because he ducked and slipped out. So it looked like Tupou put a shoulder charge on the player because he actually missed the legs there. So I thought it was a bit tough, but Argentina gets the 3 points. After this, the scrum was, I thought Williams was just taking way too long for the scrum engagement. 11 minutes into the game, another no arms tackle from Tupou, taking another 3 for the Argentinians, 6 points to 0. 22 minutes to the game, the Wallabies were not happy to take 3. They went for got a penalty, went for the line out. A little wrap around for Wilson, crashed through. Another crash for Nick Frost. Nick White looked up, saw a gap, pick and go, try time. 7 points to 0 7 points to 6. The Wallabies pulls ahead by 1. 28 minutes into the game, this was a nice set piece play from the Argentina. There was a scrum, almost in the field. The ball came out a little bit of a unders run from Chocobares, and Tom Liner did not expect this, got stepped through. And then some good hands between the Argentinian players before Dalgoy goes in for the try. 7 points to 11. I did have to notice this one thing. They're once again putting the 10, defending at the 10 channel again for the Wallabies. They did that with what's his name? I forgot his name already. Oh my god. Anyway, they did that with the other 10 that got injured. Lolosio. My goodness. I can see his face in my head. I couldn't got his name. Yeah. So with Lolosio as well, when he was defending the 10, again, both of these players are fairly small. In my opinion, they needed to push him out a little bit and not have them at a 10. Just have your 12 and 13 at the 10, at the 10 channel and 12 channel, and have your 10 either drop back or push out to the wing. But yeah, he's again defending at 10. I mean, this was a center field scrum, so really not much place for him to go. He has to kind of be there. But I thought it was again. I thought maybe the Wallabies need to have a look at that, not having again Liner taking a broad hit from big forwards that's more than happy to run at little 10 for a bit of fun. So I think Wallabies definitely wanted to look at protecting Liner a little bit more, in my opinion. There, 32 minutes in the game, another set piece, very similar style, another scrum, and Argentina again just a little bit of a backdoor play, a few good hands between the players. Ran through the defensive line again in the Wallabies open side, and then eventually Carreras got the ball, went in for the try. 7 points at 18. 39 minutes in the game, there was a bit of a mistake for the Wallabies inside their own 22. A bit of a miscommunication looked like. I think Liner passed the ball to Callaway, who was supposed to kick the ball out, but Callaway got caught, and then it was a turnover penalty. Argentina kicked this one 21 points to 17 at halftime. Second half starts 46 minutes in the game. There was multiple offside. I mean, Wallabies building a lot of pressure inside the Argentina 20. Multiple offside advantage was given out with a warning after this as well. And eventually, Len Nikitel took on the defensive line. Nice little offload to Swali, cut through for the try. 12 points to 21. Wallabies coming back. 61 minutes of the game. Again, the Wallabies applying tremendous amount of pressure. Again, more offsides, and the referee says enough is enough. Mateo Carreras got sent off for a yellow card, and the Wallabies backed themselves again, went for the line out, went for the more. Another little backdoor play from the Wallabies back line, and the ball went out wide to Swat Li'i. He sees the defender overshooting, shrugged him off, ran through the little gap for the try. 21 points to 21. 79 minutes in the game. Before this as well, there was a penalty for the Wallabies. They didn't kick the goal, they went for the line out, and then it resulted in a turnover. So then 79 minutes was excruciatingly painful when the Argentinians had a penalty for themselves and they kicked this one. 21 points to 24. And the Wallabies, on the 80th minute, had an opportunity to get a draw. They decided to go for the try. Line out, got another penalty advantage for offside, and then tap and go, offside, tap and go again, offside, and eventually the Angus Bell gets a short ball from, I think it was from Ikitel. Good body position, crash over for the win, keeping all the fans happy. 28 points to 24. Great performance. And yeah, I gotta go watch the All Blacks game. I'm sure there will be a lot more penalty kicking, but yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a good one. Cheers.